Welcome everyone, I am wandering off, and we are going through Final Fantasy XI online. We are currently playing a monk at this time, and we are currently level 55. In this episode, we're going to go ahead and raise our level cap. So we're going to figure out what we need to do in order to get it so we can get our character to level 60. So that is what our plan is going to be. So our first objective will be to go over and talk to our friendly guard and make sure we get Signet cast on us and make certain we have a instant warp. Before we go anywhere. And then right. And so if you remember from when we raised our level cap from 50 to 55, we had to talk to Maat, and so we will need to do that for this as well. So we're going to go to Loot Gardens and go find Maat. And again, you don't want to go up the stairs, you just want to go around. And come over to H5. And there is a quest objective tutorial level cap. So this is going to be level cap increase 60. So speak to Maat in Relude Gardens H5, complete the quest atop the highest mountains and raise your maximum level to 60. Requirement level 51 plus. So we're going to select yes, we want that one. And then we're going to, before we talk to him, we're going to jump over to our walkthrough and read about it. So the previous quest was called Indefiant Challenge, which raised our level cap to 55. So the next quest is going to be Atop the Highest Mountains. And so Atop the Highest Mountains, required fame, Mueno fame level 1, level restriction, level 51, starting NPC, Maat Relude Gardens H5, pack, none, title, Summit Breaker, repeatable, no, description, collect 3 stones of Frigicite from fiend-infested caverns in the north. Bring them to Maat to further expand your innate limits. So again, the previous quest will be Indefiant Challenge. The next quest is going to be Whence Blows the Wind. So our requirements are going to be round Frigicite, square Frigicite, and triangular Frigicite. And our reward will be raises level cap to 60. And so this is our walkthrough. Speak to Matt on a level 51 job. He will ask you for 3 key items guarded by monsters in Xarcabard. If this is your first time heading to Xarcabard, you may use the Unity level 125 Xarcabard warp to get there. And then the monster is the Borel Tiger, Borel Corel, and Borel Hound. And then their position is I5, J6, G10. The key item, round frigicite, square frigicite, triangular frigicite. The notorious monsters stand guard in the caves, have fairly large aggro range, and will respawn within about 5 minutes after being defeated. As of the February 2012 update, the question mark will always be present at the far end of the cave. You will receive the key item once you touch it. As a result, you do not need to defeat the notorious monster. You can simply hold them while examining the spots. The NMs will no longer use draw-in, and you may run away afterwards. They will simply not chase you very far. So you also solo these. You can also solo these notorious monsters now with relative ease using trusts. Otherwise, you may ride through the cave on a mount to receive the key item and then either remount or run out. Speak to Matt once you have all 3 key items to complete this quest. And then it gives us a map. And so following this map, you can see that there's where the tiger is, there's where the corral is, and there's where the Borel Hound is. And so it's pretty laid out. It's all on one map. So it's not going to be near as long of a journey this time as it was going to the 3 places we had to visit for our last quest. So you must make sure that you have talked to Matt before you go venturing off to get the pieces. How's it feel at the top, kid? Well, you ain't even close yet. You're just getting started. You think you had a hard time with that last quest? Well, when I was your age, I had to gather twice as many items in half the time, so stop complaining. Do you think you've got what it takes to take the next step? Don't think I'm forcing you or anything. Accept the challenge. Of course. No, not yet. So, of course. Good answer. I'm proud to have a pupil like you. Anyway, listen close to what I have to say. Many caverns to the north are home to fiends that they can find you even when you're invisible. Bring me 3 samples of frigicite from deep within. This time it's a test of wits. Barrier breakers need brains. After all, we'll get going. And then now, after you've talked to him and accepted the quest, now you can go and get the items. But if you try, I believe, I know it's on another quest, but I'm pretty sure if you haven't talked to him and accepted the quest, if you go trying to find those pieces, when you get there, it's just going to say item. There's nothing here. So you do want to make certain that you have talked to him and that you have actually accepted the quest. And then we're going to go talk to Ixley, and they gave us the Unity Warp level 125. So Xarcabard understood, and away to Xarcabard you go. You can pull out your trusts when you first get here. It's probably a good idea, because you won't be zoning out. So, you can just have your trust by your side. And then mount so we get from taking the thing from Ixley, we get ported all the way down here. Now there's an item here that we need to pick up, and then the other items are here and here. So personally, I would just recommend coming to this one and then going up and getting these two, because this one's just off to itself. If you wanted to take the survival guide, if you have it already, you'll be much closer. However, we took the Unity Warp, so we're going to have to walk a ways, but the survival guide will get you to this one a little quicker. So there is that to think about if you have it. If you don't, if it's going to be your first time here, then this is where you'll end up when you talk to Ixley. And then but that's my opinion, is just go get the one that's kind of off the beaten trail, because the other two are right next to each other. But if you really want to, you can go all the way up there and then come back down. That's fine. There's no particular order that you have to pick them up in. And then if it's your first time, this right here is a telepoint. I would recommend grabbing that when you go by it. If it's your first time. If you have already got it, then you don't need to worry about it, but you'll want all the telepoints that you find. I'm not sure exactly what telepoints are for yet. We will find out at a later time. I haven't even figured it out on my ranger just yet, but I'm certain there will come a time when it will be important or something. So anyway, we just got to make sure we're going down the right path. And so you can fight the animals if you really want. Our objective is just going to be grabbing the item, mounting, and running away. if you're already level, because you can pick this quest up at level 51, if you really want. But if you're already at 55, chances are you might not get any experience from killing them. So, because your bar might be capped, so it's much easier to grab the item like that. Obtain key item, triangular fragicite, and mount, and apparently they used to have a draw in effect, so if they saw you, they would just pull you to them, and then you'd have to basically fight them. That draw-in effect is no longer a factor, which is good. So it's in temporary. So we have the triangular frigicite. Examine triangular frigicite. A piece of frigicite found in a dark cave in Xarcabard. And with this quest, we can read those because we get a mount, and when we're on our mount, we don't have to worry about being attacked. Unlike the last quest when we were picking up the fragments, I was just like, well, we're not reading those because I want to get out of here. And that's why we didn't read them, is just because I simply don't want to be there any longer than I have to be. Here it doesn't matter, because once you get on your mount, you will not get attacked, unless you dismount, and that's the only reason. And I can't say how much I absolutely love that about this game, is being able to run around on a mount and not have to think about enemies attacking you. I mean, in World of Warcraft, it was I would die so many times. I mean, of course, you do eventually get flying, and so you don't have to worry so much about being attacked anymore on mounts. But when it was just ground mounts, it was so easy to run through a place and think, well, I'm on a mount, so I could just make this shortcut. But the horror stories of getting killed while you're mounted. And so this will be our second piece. It's way in the back. And you just, like, the best option is to try to make sure they're not looking at you when you're trying to pick up the item. And then just quickly mount. So that is a round frigicite. So round frigicite, examine round frigicite. A piece of frigicite found in a dark cave in Xarcabard. And then and this quest is rather nice, just because they're all three in the same zone. I mean, if you had to fight the monsters, it would be it'd be a little more challenging. I've fought one of them with my ranger, and they just I don't think they're that hard. It's just they do take a while. They have plenty of defense, and they have quite a bit of health, so it can take you a while to actually get them down. If you choose to fight them. But if you don't, you can just pick up the items like I'm doing and get out of there. And so we got one more to pick up, and we will then be able to instant warp out of here. Almost wondering if Tyno might help me. I don't think it will, but I might take some to see if it will numb the pain some. Huh. So sorry I'm complaining about pain. But something like it's jabbing me in the side. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's what it feels like. And it has nothing to do with when I'm breathing. It just as if it had something to do with when I was breathing. It would make a little more sense, but it just, I don't know. And this is the last one. So dismount, and we find it here, and square Frigicite, and then we go ahead and instant warp out of here, and we got attacked. Hopefully we get out of here. So yeah, you just try to make sure that their back is completely turned when you're there. And then key item, our square Frigicite. Examine square Frigicite. Piece of Frigicite found in a dark cave in Xarcabard. Then we want to get our scroll of instant warp. Oops. So we'll get that. And then we go back to Relude Gardens. And then we come talk to Maat. Yes, the very thing. You've crossed another great threshold today. Of course, this is merely a prologue of things to come. And now our level limit is 60. And so now we can get from 55 to 60. And So I think in our next episode, when you first get to Ergen, there are things you need to do, and so I think that is going to be what our next video will be on. So I thinking that's what, because there's a really good place to go from level 55 to 60 there, and so well, we'll discuss it more when we get there. So we're going to call that the end of this video. Simply just unlocking our level cap from 55 to 60. So that quest is much easier than going to because the one before we had to travel to 3 different dungeons, and in each dungeon we had to pick up three items to just create one. In this one we just had to pick up 3 items, and that was it. So that makes this one much easier. So that is going to be it for this video. I will see you in the next one. Again, I am wandering off, and we are playing on my tune Wandering. I do hope that you've enjoyed my playthroughs, and I will see you in the next episode.